Yeah, we're just really excited to begin the season. Practices have gone well thus far. Today will be our 5th official practice of the 30 that were allowed prior to our first game. And, guys have been doing a good job. It's been good competition. We're, working real hard. And, you can see that, having guys back from last year's team, we have a lot of experience that returns, which is, obviously really important.
Get questions? We'll go ahead. We'll get started.
Where are you at from a health standpoint right now? I know you're a month out from playing a game that counts, but everybody.
Yeah, we've got some guys that have been nicked up. We've got one that, we're waiting to see. So, but for the most part, okay. Yeah, that's the key. For us to have the kind of year we want to have, we've got to stay healthy, and that's something you just don't control. And that's something that, we pray for every day, to remain healthy, and that's a huge key for us.
We'll go front row to coaches, right?
What's your thoughts about the early start with practice? It seems like it gets earlier and earlier.
Well, I like it because we get more rest. Like, for example, we started this last week, past week, we went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we had Monday off, and then, today's Wednesday. We went Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow's off, then we go Thursday. So we have more days in between to give them rest so they can recover, and I think that was a smart thing, and you're not trying to jam quite as much into preparation for a season when you started on the 15th and your first game was, November 9th. It used to be, it was always October 15th, but we didn't play till, the Friday after Thanksgiving. Well, the season continued to creep up to where you were starting earlier and earlier, but they never adjusted the practice start date. So it was actually what they've done, and basically what we did was we copied the women's game. This is what the women had done for a couple of years prior to the men finally adopting, saying, yeah, I mean, that's smart. We should do that too. So that's that's the genesis of it all.
We'll go to Logan and then Brian.
Just how have the newcomers sort of meshed with this team that you have with such a veteran team coming back?
Good, really well. And I think, obviously having them here in the summer really helps that. So the 8 weeks in summer of conditioning and lifting and skill development and, some 5-on-5 practices, obviously going to school and taking some classes has helped in terms of, just everybody familiarizing with each other. I think that Reggie and Robert and DJ, along with, Jet and Andrew Junkin have all done a good job. And so we're really excited about them.
Is this the most experienced team you've had in your career?
No, I'm sure that's not true, but we have 2 seniors, and we have 2 very good seniors in Eric and Q, but I know I've had more seniors than that on a team before at some point. But we have a lot of experience from last year's team, and I'm excited. First time, obviously, most experienced team I've had since I've been here, and I mean experience like been in the same system for 2 or 3 years. We had some seniors my first year, but they were experiencing a new coach the first time, and there wasn't a lot of depth of that group. So yeah, this is our most experienced team by far that I've had in my tenure here at Mississippi State, now going into year 4.
We'll go back to the front and then over to Brett.
You always have every year, it seems like guys that play multiple roles, that can play different positions. Who's kind of the main ones looking at this group with the newcomers coming in?
Well, we'll ask Reggie to play a couple of different spots. It could end up being that Robert will be thrown into that same, need. Obviously we have, Nick Weatherspoon has to do that. Tyson Carter has to do that. Q has had to do it. So there's a number of guys that, as you point out, play multiple positions offensively and defensively.
Brett.
Talk about culture after last season, how that's kind of building up in your program. Are you seeing the results of that in the off-season development?
Really are. And what's great is the leadership from our players. And our players, like, I am always catching Q coaching his teammates, telling you should have taken that shot. I mean, shoot that shot, It's like, so it's kind of fun to see how guys are trying to help each other and coach each other, both doing the right things on and off the floor. And they're a very positive group. They really compete out there between the lines, but not outside. They're supportive of one another, and so it's really been good. We have very good leadership, really good culture. Abdul's a great leader, both by example and as well as being real positive with his teammates.
Go ahead.
Your thoughts on the schedule so far? Your thoughts on the schedule?
Well, really a tough schedule for us. I mean, and that was by design, and so. We don't have any easy games per se. I mean, and you look at our league schedule. I mean, they really loaded us up with, the two crossover games that are Auburn and Kentucky. Playing them each twice was done because there's an expectation that we're going to be a good team by the conference and by the TV. But our league is just such a monster. It's incredible, to look at it and say where do you where's there a breather? There is no breather. Every game is a hotly contested, really tough game every night in this league. That's what makes the league great. You have I think last year was a breakthrough year for the conference with 8 teams being invited to the tournament. And now you have a lot of those teams return a lot. I mean, Auburn, Tennessee returns everybody. Auburn, a bulk of that, and they add one of the NBA player in their starting center, and the forward that comes back. So I mean, they're a monster. We always know Kentucky is what Kentucky is year in and year out. What Calipari continues to do in terms of reloading. So, I mean, our league, just top to bottom, is incredible.
We'll go back to Brett and then to Brian.
First on that non-conference schedule, some neutral site games in there. What were you kind of looking for and wanting to find in those neutral sites?
Well, one's a tournament where we're going to Vegas after we get 2 home games here against Hartford and Long Beach. And, we are playing Arizona State in the first round just to make sure that we're playing a really quality opponent in the non-conference. And then we'll either play St. Mary's or Utah State in the second game. And then, playing Clemson up there in New Jersey, we're playing a top 20 team who's a Sweet 16 team that returns the bulk of that team from a year ago. So we're playing at Dayton, which is incredibly difficult. That was like, stupid on my part probably to play them on the road because, they have a great home court advantage there. Playing BYU after Christmas, and we got to get a great crowd for that game. They got 25-year-old men with kids. They're adults. But even the games like Wright State and Jackson, which is a neutral game, and they're picked to win their league, and they have a really good MVP of the league, guy coming back at center. What was I thinking about playing? Wofford. That beats Carolina at Carolina last year with, an unbelievable player. So we've got, a lot of challenging games on our schedule that are really going to be difficult, and that's good in preparation for, SEC play.
Right.
In your career, you coached teams that can score a lot. You coached teams that can really grind you to death on defense. What do you see this year's team being?
Well, I hope we can do both, we've got to be able to I think this is a team that is going to shoot the ball a lot better than we did last year. We spent a lot of time in the offseason really working on shooting and putting a lot of time in. Our players did on their own. That was the best thing. These guys are gym rats. Like Thursday night, the night before we started our official practice last week, they were playing 5-on-5 in the gym till midnight. And that's just so gratifying as a coach to see how, excited they are and about, the season. And but they put an incredible amount of time in on their own, on their game and on shooting, and so I'm really pleased with that.
Go ahead.
You mentioned expectations earlier. Is it too early to talk to your team about goals, or if you have, what are your team goals this year?
Our team, obviously we want to do really well in the SEC. We're trying to win the SEC. I mean, that's the goal. And, it's going to be an incredible task, whoever comes out of this league. I mean, right now you got to look, the favorites are, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Auburn based on, last year and what they have back. And, LSU is going to be incredibly tough. I mean, there's so many teams here. I mean, I think that Alabama and Florida are going to be really, really good. I mean, this league is going to be incredibly tough, but that's our goal. If you come out and you finish on the top of this league, you're going to get a high seed in the NCAA tournament. And everybody's trying to get the NCAA tournament. That's a given.
Go back to Brett.
The NCAA made some changes to the recruiting process in August, I think, obviously a reaction to the FBI investigation. What do you think of some of the changes they made? How does it impact how y'all go about?
Yeah, it actually goes into effect now. It didn't affect this past summer, but now this next summer is when it goes into effect, where we're having less time in July to view AAU events, and they'll be having some events that are held in each state. So it remains to be seen, but so that's yet to be determined as to how we feel about it. We have to go through it first, but there are a number of changes that are being made by the NCAA via the commission that was enacted a year ago, led by Condoleezza Rice and her group on that commission.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go back here to back.
Obviously, the women's team always has a lot of hype, and they do a pretty good job of dealing with that hype. This year, it might be kind of new for you guys to have a lot of expectations and hype. How do you just plan on talking to your team and dealing with those expectations?
Yeah, and it's a great question, because we haven't had that, not to this level anyway, where people have us in the national rankings. And bottom line is, it's really nice. And it brings, I think a lot of excitement for our fans, and it's been exciting for our players. But you still got to go out and earn it. You got to prove yourself every day. And those rankings mean nothing once the ball is tipped. All it does is put a bigger bullseye in your chest for other people, and it's easier fodder for a coach to say, "Oh yeah, they're really good." I mean, look, they've been, the whole thing. So. That's kind of how we'll handle it.
Q, you've been here a while. What's kind of different about this team's makeup?
I had to say everybody been working hard since the summertime. Like from my freshman year to now, I think that it's the most competitive team we had. Like people be in the gym every day, trying to get better on their own game. I think that'll make our whole team better as well.
Okay, we'll go to Logan here, then we'll go to the back.
Q, just the run that y'all made at the end of last season and bringing everybody back, just what's the excitement level with the team just going into this year?
Just knowing how far we made it. But we fell short last year. Just knowing we made it that far in the NIT with everybody coming back, we know we should have a good run to try to make it to the NCAA tournament this year.
Go to the back.
Coach just mentioned that you guys were in the gym playing until midnight last week. Is that just a sign that you guys are sort of changing the culture and coming together a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. It's just us being together as a team more. We do more like team things now instead of everybody being all separate. So I think us just playing as a team, bringing everybody in the gym at one time, I think that's helping us a lot.
We'll go over to Brian, and then we'll go down to the front again.
There's not a lot of four-year players in college basketball anymore. You're one, Eric is one. How does it feel now that you've played on so many teams with inexperience? Now you're an experienced team. How different is that for you?
It's not that much different because when we was on the inexperienced team, we was the players and we were inexperienced, and now that we older, now we the experienced players. So now we just teaching the young guys the culture of Mississippi State basketball.
Heard a lot of good things so far about DJ Stewart. What kind of sticks out to you when watching him in practice and your impressions of him so far?
Just his athleticism, the way he plays real hard. I like DJ a lot. I think he's gonna be a great player here at Mississippi State. He just plays so hard, and him defending me going against him every day, I think this is just gonna make him even better.
Go ahead and keep it in the front.
What is the motivation for your team, I guess, this summer, like getting into them to work together?
We trying to win the national championship, so I mean that's all we've been talking about this year. So I think that's all the motivation we need to try to get in the gym and get better.
A lot of newcomers in the front court. What have you done to help them get in a place where they can contribute immediately?
I would say just keep building confidence in them. You know, you just let them know this is the same game you played in high school, and there's no difference. You know, there's still 5 people on the court, so just keeping it simple and sweet, just so they can understand that it's the same game.
Go ahead, Logan.
The numbers that y'all have down there, just how much easier could that possibly make it for you guys to kind of save your legs some throughout the season, not play as many minutes, and also have the production that those younger guys are going to bring?
It's going to be very helpful just because, like you said, we are deep in every position. So, you know, we have that mindset where it's the next man up. You know, some guys not going to have a good night, but we can trust in each other that somebody is, you know, and with having a deep team like that, it's easy to sacrifice and rely on something like that.
Go ahead and stand in front.
Speaking of the front court, just your thoughts on the new guys that have come in, Jethro and them, and I guess Reggie and Robert may play some forward too. But with those newcomers, your early impressions of them, and also what have you seen from that ability?
I would say with the young guys or with the new guys, they love learning. You know, they're quick learners. You know, they're asking questions. They want to get better every day. And that's all you can ask for as a leader on this team and as a teammate of the new guys, you know. And then with Abdul, he's the same he's the same guy, you know. He's getting better every day, you know. He's getting better at the leadership role. He's expanding his game, you know. He's doing everything that we asked for him to do.
We'll go back to Brad over here on the left.
With all of the pieces on this team that can float between different positions, just how many lineup combos are there for this team right now? How are y'all kind of managing, figuring out what the strengths and weaknesses are in each one?
Yes, I would say we're figuring out the strengths and weaknesses, and we do have a lot of ways we can play people, which was, I guess, like the mindset of Coach Howland, you know, with recruiting the new guys, you know. So at any given night, we can go small, we can go big, we can go regular, we can go really big where you might put me at the 3 or something, you know. So we have all different ways that we can attack the game, which is helpful and to make the game easier to all of us.
We'll stay on Eric's left, and then we'll come back over to the right.
You mentioned a minute ago a couple words that hadn't been uttered around here a whole lot the last few years, and that's the goal of a national championship kind of thing. Just what's kind of for you and him in particular, the sense of urgency to get to the tournament? You guys have never been to the NCAA tournament things. And is that hunger and that sense of urgency, do y'all kind of feel that right now?
Absolutely, you know, because coming out of high school, you know, we came from winning programs, you know, so we already had our heads up high when we first got here. And when we first got here, we told ourselves that we want to get this program back on top, you know, so that's why we sacrificed and stayed all 4 years, you know, and we love our teammates and we just want to go out with a bang, and a national championship is our only mindset right now.
Kind of building off that question, I know you guys wanted to be in the tournament last year, but how can you use that NIT experience and the long postseason run you had there to build off of that?
It's a great motivational tool just because we were right there, you know. There are some games that slipped out of our hands, but right now we're focused on where we're taking one game at a time, and we're not going to let none of them slip out of our hands this year. So, I mean, we're not going to let no games affect us this year, so it won't hurt us in the long run.
We'll go back to the second row.
Similar to what Joel asked, the expectations are probably higher than they've ever been since you've been here. What's it been like this offseason, just sort of dealing with that and trying to focus on your goals?
It's been great, you know, because we have a great team, we have a great core, and everybody's on board to be successful, you know. So, and when you have guys like that in the locker room that's on the same page as you, it's mind-blowing because, you know, where this program was and where, you know, us guys are taking it now. So.